Good morning, class. Good morning, professor. I'm going to be presenting to you Women in Space. The first woman in space was cosmonaut Valentina Tereshkova on June 16, 1963, in the mission Vostok 6. She became the first woman in space because the Soviets were too prideful to let an American woman go to space before them, and she has done the only solo mission by a female astronaut. Then, women didn't visit space until 1982 when Svetlana Savitskaya on the Soyuz D7 on August 1982. Then, in 1984, she did the first female EVA or spacewalk. On June 18, 1983, Sally Ride became the first American woman to go to space. And a few months later, after the first spacewalk, Catherine Sullivan did the first spacewalk by an American astronaut on October 11, 1984. The first female astronaut from Great Britain was Helen Sharman, and she was the first female astronaut, to visit the Soviet Mir space station in May 1991. A year later, Roberta Bondar became the first Canadian woman to go to space. In July 1994, on the STS-65 mission, Chiaki Mukai became the first Japanese woman to go to space and had set the record for the longest space flight made by a woman at that time. Then, in 1996, Claude Haigneré became the first French woman to go to space, and in 2001, she became the first female astronaut to visit the International Space Station. Eileen Collins became the first space shuttle pilot in February 1995, and in 2001, she also became the first space shuttle commander. On March 2001, Susan Hales became the first female astronaut to be a part of a space station crew on the mission with the Expedition 2 crew. In 2007, Sunita Williams became the first astronaut to run the Boston Marathon while being part of the Expedition 15 crew. Then, in April 2008, Ji Seo-yeon became the first astronaut from South Korea to go to space and to the International Space Station. And we also know that there have been multiple women in space at the same time, 2 to 3 women usually, but in April 2010, there were 4 women in the ISS, the most women at the same time, as part of the STS-131 mission and the Expedition 23 crew. They were Tracy Caldwell Dyson, Dorothy Metcalf Lindenberger, Stephanie Wilson, and Naoko Yamazaki. On June 19, 2012, Liu Wang became the first Chinese taikonaut aboard the Shenzhou 9 capsule. Elena Serova became the first female cosmonaut to visit the ISS on September 25, 2014. A few months later, Samantha Cristoforetti became the first Italian woman to go to space and the ISS on November 23, 2014. Then Anne McLean became the first woman to live in the space station as part of 2 different expedition crews. On September 3, 2017, Peggy Whitson broke the record for most time spent in space by a female astronaut with 665 days, 22 hours, and 22 minutes. Christina Koch holds the record for most time spent consecutively on the ISS and in space, with a total of 328 days. Then in October 2019, Christina Koch and Jessica Meyer made the first all-female spacewalk. And even more recently, on November 15, 2020, Shannon Walker became the first astronaut to be aboard the Falcon 9 rocket.